So, good evening, my dear friends. Meeting after a lecture of third aphorism from the sixth edition of Organ of Medicine, which is called to be a miniature of Organ of Medicine. And we have learned certain aspects from that aphorism. So, first Hahnemann have defined his goal mission in the first aphorism, followed by in second aphorism the definition of that mission, and then the third aphorism is to what are the qualities which should be born by a homeopath in order to achieve his mission. And that's why he explains that there are certain qualities one should born in himself. The first quality which he defined over there is nothing but the knowledge of disease, indication, and which we have discussed in length in last lecture. So both the things are necessary. The nomenclature of the diseases in the form of diagnosis, which is also important from prognostic point of view, and at the same time, the expression of it in each and every individual in a different manner in the form of indications, that is also important for us, which gives you exactly the remedial diagnosis. So the disease diagnosis at the same time the remedial diagnosis both are necessary, and that's why Hahnemann have explained in one sentence only knowledge of disease, indications while describing the quality of the homeopathic medicine. That is the first quality. The second quality, which is explained by him, is the knowledge of medicinal powers. So we have discussed why he has raised the word knowledge of medicinal powers, because medicinal powers means every medicine in different potency is a different medicine, and this is what one has to understand. So when we have discussed the example of heparself in last lecture, the Rustox in last lecture. So Rustox 6 is different, remedy 30 is different, 200 is different, 1M is different. So all potencies acts in a different manner, and that's why if we understand exactly where it used to work, then it becomes very easy for us to understand the medicinal powers and to come to right potency. So sometimes it happens in practice, we reach to the right remedy, but we never reach to the right potency, and the case might be spoiled because of it. Examples are very nicely elaborated by the Robert in his philosophy. He has given certain examples that the remedy of the patient was very right, but because of the just wrong potency, he has left that case, or he has spoiled that case. And this happens some number of times, and that's why our concepts regarding the potency should be very clear. So simple language, in a simple language, first important thing, think over it where exactly the patient wants the result. If it is more superficial, then you start with the low. If you go inside more and more, start increasing the potency. So if you are at the skin level, you start with the mucous membrane and skin level, you can start with 3C, 6C, but as you enter inside 30, at the muscular level, the 200, at the bony level, the 1M, and metaphysical levels, the 10M, 50M, CM. So this is the common thing one should born in mind, but this is not only the thing. There are much more criteria which we have to deal with when you deal with the dynamic human being, and that's why that is one criteria which we have discussed while discussing the knowledge of medicinal powers. The third important quality which we have discussed, the choice of remedy, the medicine indicated. This is again very important. It is nothing but the application of knowledge of medicinal powers to the knowledge of disease, indication. And this practical aspect is very important. The logical application of it gives you an exact remedy, the medicine indicated for that patient. And when you choose right remedy, it should be in right potency, at the same time the proper dose. And that's why last point which we have discussed, the proper dose, whether to give a single dose, whether to repeat the dose. Then if you are repeating, why to repeat and why not to repeat, all questions always remains in our mind. Keep it in your mind first thing, that when you are choosing the dynamic medicines, when you give the 30 potency, one dose, two dose, three dose, it is nothing but the same. It is one and only dose, because it will not going to act like a material medicine like allopathy. It is not 30 plus 30 plus 30 is equal to 90. It is 30 plus 30, 30 always remains to be 30, even you give 4 globules or even you give the 100 globules. because quantity doesn't matter here, the quality matters, and whatever the results which are produced by the 30 will remain 30 even after you give or you repeat it a number of times. If you want to change it, then you have to go for the 200 or you have to go for 1 m, you have to shift the potency, and that's why the proper dose is very much needed, and you have to understand exactly. It depends upon few things. Again, you have to find it out exactly the how much is the action of a medicine. At the end of Borix Materia Medica, the Gibson Miller's book regarding the remedy relationship, it has been given over there, or even in Kent's repertory also it has been added. You go through that and understand the actions of each and every remedy. That will be a homework for you. Go through that work done by Gibson Miller and just understand the depth of action. You'll get that if you open the LMC it is only for a day or up to 7 days it works. Aconite for a day, then stramonium for 20 days, then Naxomica for 1 to 7 days. These are very acutely acting remedies. As compared, if you go for the Prionia is subacute, Pulsatilla is subacute. If you go with the Lycopodium, the sulfur, the Calcareas, the Kalis, Natrums, 40 to 60 days, deep acting remedies. And that is that act, depending upon that action, you have to decide whether to repeat or not to repeat. If you are prescribing for an acute condition and if you are finding it out acute remedy in a high potency, there is no need to repeat so much. But in a chronic case where susceptibility is low and if you have started with the low potency, it might require little bit repetition till the susceptibility gets aroused. And if you are using the LM scale, you can repeat it a number of times. It never causes that much of aggravation, which can be caused because of the centesimal scale. And that's why he has rightly explained over there, the knowledge of proper dose is very much important for that purpose. So this is what we have discussed, and then we have to go ahead with the same aphorism. So we have read up to the proper dose, the quantity of it required, and the proper period of for repeating the dose. So that is also one of the important things. You must know the exactly the proper period, how much time to give. So basic simple rule is that till your remedy is going to work, you go on giving the medicine. Then once it has stopped acting, or once you find it out that there is no more action developed, now it is time to stop with that potency. And if patient feels there is a need, then you have to go and change the potency. So this is one more important thing which one has to understand while considering this. So this aspect he has mentioned very nicely over there. Then if finally he knows the obstacles to the recovery, 6 point in the qualities of homeopathic physician, obstacles to the recovery in each case, and is aware how to remove them so that the restoration may be permanent. So this is last point which one has to understand, obstacles in the process of recovery. And which are the common obstacles? If the patients who are coming to you with allergic conditions, and many allergic conditions with which patients approaches to you, many a times you get all those things. So what you have to do? Then patient comes and patient enters inside your clinic and you get very strong scent over there, and patient is suffering from the allergic rhinitis and he is taking your treatment and your remedy is not acting, and he said, doctor, 1 month has been passed and there is nothing is happening. Just it is your one thing you have to ask, one question you have to ask, and the question is that are you using any scents or deodorants in your daily routine? If the answer is yes, then ask your patient to stop that, because this is the reason because of which there is an obstacles in the process of recovery and patient is not getting desired result. So this is first important thing which you have to find it out. Sometimes patients who are suffering from the rheumatism, they remains in damp basements, never gets result, because unless and until you take that patient out of that obstacle, it is not possible to get the ideal result. So this is again a simple thing. There are many patients in when you go into the little bit lower poor socio-economical conditions of the patient, where they have many of them are having the habits of tobacco or tobacco misery, and sometimes even BD, and all those things affects a lot, because of which you never get the desired result in your patient. So this is one thing which you have to take into consideration. These obstacles, you have to find it out whether they are present in the patient. If they are there, it is your duty to tell them. Unless and until you stop that, you should not take the treatment. You should be a little bit confident at the time. At the same time, you should be harsh regarding all those things. Then patient listens you. Otherwise, patient will not going to listen you. This is keep it in your mind. Patient will not going to listen unless and until you are too strict. I used to say, patient, I will not take your case next time if you will continue with the habit. Otherwise, go anywhere. I will not treat you. I don't want your money. I don't want your. I don't want to treat you unless and until you stop this. Then patient stop. There are many examples that patient have stopped all those things. But you should be very confident, and at the same time, you should be very harsh regarding all those things. And this is what he wants to explain over there. These obstacles, number of times, even though you get a right remedy, produces problems in your case. And these obstacles, you have to find it out in the case. So this is very important knowledge one must have. And finally, he knows the obstacles to the recovery in each case and is aware how to remove them, so that the restoration may be permanent, so that patient will be completely cured. And this happens many a time. So there was one patient just I was treating, very nice case. Today we had a follow-up of that patient. She was a case of rheumatism with a severe fixed flexion deformity, and she was continuing with a lot of steroids, non-steroids, everything was going on. And when she came first time, nearly about, I think, 4 months have been passed just now. When first time she came, she was puffed, whole body was swollen because of the water congestion. That was there, that retention was there because of long standing use of the steroids. And this patient, when I started, she had a habit of taking, using the tobacco machine. On the first consultation, I asked, if you want to get better, you have to stop that. Otherwise, don't come to me. I never expect any result. Second important thing, I have told that you have to stop all those things, all those medicines which are causing you a problem. And today, after 3 4 months have been passed, but she has reduced nearly about 12 kg weight. She has lost whole swelling all over body, and she is walking so freely, which she was not able to walk of one footstep at that time. So this is how the results you can get when you remove the obstacles in the process of recovery. And you have to discuss many things. There was one thing in that patient. There were disputes between her and her father, even though she was married. And I have given nearly about 1 hour for just for counseling for that patient. I have explained, unless and until this fixed idea is there in your mind, you remove that, your rheumatism will get cured. It was very difficult for her to remove that, but with right remedy and my counseling, it got removed from her mind, and that stiffness has completely solved, and she has recovered out from that dangerous disease. So this happens when you good time, at the same time you remove all those obstacles in the process of recovery. All obstacles are not always the physical. There are some mental obstacles, and these mental obstacles remains fixed in their mind. They are generally psychotic, and these psychotic things from the patient's mind, you have to remove. Unless and until you remove that, it is not possible to get the cure. And this is what Hahnemann wants to explain over there, that unless and until you remove these obstacles, the recovery will never ensue, and recovery will never remain the permanent. And then what he says, then he understands how to treat judiciously and rationally. See, what he says is very important. Then he understands how to treat judiciously and rationally. If you know, if you have all those qualities, then and then only you know understand how to treat judiciously. What is judicious? Judicious means like a judge. You know what is right and what is wrong. Then it is possible to reach to the right thing rationally. And he is the true practitioner of healing art. Then that physician is called as a true practitioner of healing art. See, very nicely written aphorism. For the students who are there joined, this aphorism. There are many questions on this aphorism. First, the qualities of homeopathic physician. Second, important miniature of organ of medicine. Third, true practitioner of healing art. All three questions, short note topics, which are there on this top, on this specific aphorism. So one should not miss this. These are the, and you, when you are writing the answers, keep it in your mind. Always make a habit of writing in point-wise fashion. First, give the reference. That is in the sixth edition of Organ of Medicine. In the aphorism number 3, Dr. Samuel Hahnemann explains the concept of true practitioner of healing art. Then you explain the meaning of true practitioner of healing art, means the qualities of homeopathic physicians. Then explanation. Then each quality by giving example. And at the end, the conclusion. That's why Dr. Hahnemann sir wants to explain that he is the only person who have all those knowledges called to be a true practitioner of healing art. So this is the way to write the answers. If you are able to write in this manner, you can get many more marks. In fact, if it is asked for 5 marks, you can get all 5 marks for the answer. So make a habit of writing things in a proper manner, and it explains your personality. When you are writing, automatically it reflects in the examiner's mind that how you are. So make a habit, whatever you are writing, write it in a proper manner. So this is the third aphorism. So we have started with the first. In the first, we have explained, we have considered about the mission. In the second, the ideal cure, and third, the qualities of a homeopathic physician, and all 6 qualities. But I want to add one more, and that one more is given in the fourth aphorism. So that is also a quality of a homeopathic physician that should be added in your answer. It is not only third aphorism which defines the qualities, but fourth is also important. And where he explained, he is likewise the preserver of health. It knows the things that deranges the health. See, very nicely he explains. He is likewise preserver of health if he knows the things that derange the health and cause the disease, and how to remove them from the persons in health. And in fact, I will give more marks if you concentrate on these aphorisms. Those who are practitioners, it is your duty, that Hahnemann have explained. It is your duty. You should be a preserver of health. Again, a short note topic. Preserver of health. It is always asked for 5 marks. So, preserver of health. See how he explains. He explains over there. He is likewise a preserver of health if he knows the things that derange the health. See, this is how he explains. So everyone knows what are the things which derange the health. All of you know. You know that all the habits are the things which are definitely used to produce a problem. So it is your duty, if you are finding it out, even though he is not your patient, but your friend, and who is having the habit of tobacco chewing, it is your duty to stop the habit. It is not your duty to ask him, give me some. This should not be. It is your duty to stop that habit. You should be very harsh with your friend. Ask him that I will stop the friendship with you. It is your duty. This happens only when you do it. And this is the habit you have to develop. If the patient comes along with his relatives and you find that his relative is having certain habits, it is your duty, because you can prevent his disease from developing and maintain his health because of just your few words. And that's why Hahnemann says, in a right manner, he is likewise with the preserver of health if he knows things that derange the health. Then question arises, only the habits are necessary to preserve the health? Or are there any other things? So which are the things which preserve the health? That is also important. And which are the things which derange the health? So it is not only just a habit. Then you have to understand the human nature. You have to understand what is which are the things which affects the human health. First important thing here, the priority should be health, not the disease. Hahnemann says we should be health oriented. Exactly opposite happens when we deal with the allopathy. We become disease oriented. Hahnemann explains that you should be health oriented. And what is the health? What is the definition of health? When your mind, body, and soul runs in a perfect harmony with the help of your vital force, the person is called to be healthy. So you are able to enjoy your life with the help of vital force at the all level, at the mind, at the soul, at the body, all level. You are able to do function whatever you want to do. If you are able to do, you are healthy. And there are many things which affects your health, both at the psychological level as well as at the physical level. The most important thing is the diet and daily routine. So daily routine, it is your duty to ask everyone, what is your daily routine? Just now I have taken one case, and she had the problem, many more problems, and she used to sleep daily at 2 o'clock at night, at 2 a.m. And she is suffering from uric acid, gouty rheumatism. So definitely she will going to suffer because she is not following the biological clock. The biological clock runs from 11 o'clock till 4 a.m. and here the detoxification process runs in a double way. And if you are not sleeping, it never works. Automatically, it reflects increase in the uric acid levels. This is what this I have worked out with myself also. In fact, I know this because of the same problem which was there with me. I used to sleep at 12 o'clock, 12:30, 1 o'clock. I used to get a habit of reading many things, uh, and I once I got the attack of uric acid way back in 2012, and I could not find it out the reason. I stopped everything. I started tracking the consuming the proteins. I stopped everything. Still, it was remaining at the 8 or 8.5. It was not coming down. I worked out very hard. Nothing was there which was bringing it down. But once I understood this biological clock, I stopped um, sleeping at late at night. I started sleeping at 10:30 o'clock and waking early in the morning around 5 or 4:45. And within 2 months, my uric acid came up to 5.3. This happened so nicely. This is the importance of it. So this thing, that the patient is sleeping at 2 o'clock, it is your duty to tell the patient that this is the biological clock which you have to follow. And unless and until you follow, it is not possible to come out to the normal. So human physiology you have to understand very clearly. And if you are understanding the physiology and patient follows the physiology, then he recovers very fast. So that is also one of the important things. There are many patients who never follows the daily routine. They are haphazard while using maintaining they eats anytime, they take consumes anything at any time. They are not particular regarding the timing, and that disturbs their harmony. If you follow daily routine in a proper manner regarding your diet, if you have habit of taking the food at 3 times, at breakfast, lunch and dinner, make it fixed at the certain time. If you are consuming daily breakfast at 7 o'clock, it should be at 7 o'clock daily. If you are consuming your lunch at 1 o'clock, it should be one daily, because that harmony develops in your body, and that harmony is very important. So tell them this is what needed when you deal with the chronic cases. You have to tell the patients all those things. These sometimes create the problem. There are many patients who are workaholic and they never understand that, they never feel that they are hungry, and they take their lunch instead of 1 o'clock. They take their lunch at 4 o'clock or 5 o'clock, and their dinner at night, late night, and they suffer from many more disorders. And this is that I used to consume very much, still I used to suffer. It is only because you are not following the daily routine. So these are the things which you have to understand in a proper manner. So obstacle, it is not only the habit, diet and daily routine maintain matters a lot. Then what patient is consuming, that is also one of the important entity. If a person who is consuming a daily a spicy food and used to suffer from the acid peptic disease, then that you know that it is the reason behind his disorder, then it is your duty to ask the patient to stop that. And Hahnemann wants to explain all those things. There are many patients who are frivolous regarding their life, regarding their thoughts, regarding their work, regarding their diet, regarding their daily routine. And these people, you have to tell them the importance of this, because that also causes a disorder. So one should be very serious regarding their health. I used to tell my patient that give at least 1 hour for your health, and then you think about whatever you want to do in 23 hours. Forget that you have 1 hour, and that 1 hour should be spent for your health. You should give many more many more. You should go for many more exercises. Either you go for Surya Namaskar, either you go for cycling, either you go for running, either you go for walking, either you go for yoga or a gym, whatever it may be. But at least 1 hour a day is very important for your health. So these are the things which one must tell. So when you deal with the chronics, it is your duty to tell each and everything with the patient. And this aphorism specifically Hahnemann explains that if you know these are the things which derange the health and cause the disease, it is your duty to tell everyone that this should be stopped. And then it is his duty what to do also, that also you have to explain. There are many people, I have seen many doctors who are big doctors and have very much fame, but they explain that reduce your weight, then your joints will be better. Patient is suffering from osteoarthritis, whatever he has told is very correct, but how to reduce the weight is the big question. People never understands how to reduce the weight. Doctor has said reduce the weight, but how to reduce it, that is also important. And I used to give this all those things. Even behind my prescription pad, I have written the daily routine and diet as well, how one should follow that. Then it is your duty to explain what to eat and what not to eat, which are the things which increases the weight and which are the things which never increases the weight, which have a good value for maintaining the weight. All those things which you have to take into consideration. I used to spend time. I used to spend time to explain the exercises. I used to spend time explaining the daily routine to the patient. And these are the things one must explain to the patient, so that a patient understands and follows it. He maintains his health. So even though your remedy is right, it never works unless and until all those things are followed. And this is the one more quality of the homeopathic physician explained by Hahnemann in the aphorism number 4. So you have to add this one more in your answer while writing it down. So these are the things which we have we must know as a practitioner. Now there are only 5 minutes or 6 minutes are remaining. I want to highlight only this aphorism, because next aphorism will take many more lectures, because next aphorism is very, very, very important from practice point of view. The fifth aphorism has a big, big value. So today I will not going to share fifth aphorism, but if you have any questions or doubts regarding it, we can discuss anything, whatever may be the queries that can be solved. And my suggestion is that just go on discussing, go on talking. This is very much necessary. Don't shy and don't keep it in your mind how I can ask. It is not a thing. Unless and until we ask, it is not possible to get the answer. Many things I'm after practicing for 31 years, I'm learning nowadays many things. And this happens only because I'm reading, and then when I read, I used to find it out some problem, and then I used to discuss the thing with the people, and I understand, I get the answer. Any query? My suggestion to all of you, Dr. Vasudev Varke, very senior practitioner, allopathic practitioner, he is there with us. He had his own hospital, but see his enthusiasm to learn the homeopathy. And all of you are attending this lecture, my suggestion is that this type of enthusiasm should be there with everyone so that you can learn a lot. And there are many more things in your life which you have to learn. This gives you a different perspective to look toward the homeopathy. And when you learn homeopathy by heart, I'm quite sure that you will learn how to live a life, because it is a way of life. And I always say that homeopathy is a way of life. It defines, details you exactly how to live and how to enjoy the life. And that's why Organon always give a different perspective to your understanding. So it definitely shows a different way to look towards your philosophy. So you think about your nature, you think about your lacunas, and because of Organon and philosophy, we can fulfill those lacunas, and we can remove whatever lacunas there are there in us, so that we can become a good human being. To become a good human being is nothing but to become a good spiritual person. And then your remedies works, or sometimes your whatever you talk, discuss with the patient, that also works. It is also a dynamic action. So my suggestion to all of you, that better make a good communication whenever the time permits. There should be a discussion. You don't fear, don't keep anything in your mind, how to ask and why to ask, and who question always remains in our mind, that what others will say. We unnecessarily we consider that other are better than us. This is the problem. There, there is not like that. I always, if I have a doubt, I used to keep whatever it may be, I used to ask. And because of which, whatever knowledge I have earned is only because of my habit of not keeping any doubt inside my mind. And if I never get an answer, I used to go behind that to find it out what is the answer of the question. So this habit which you have to develop. So there was one question was asked by Karuna Pawar. There may be maintaining factors in some cases which may not modifiable, or and has become part of routine of the patient. How to proceed in such cases? I want to ask, which are such a maintaining factors. If you tell them, then I can tell you the solution. For example, what are the maintaining factors? Just put it down. What are the maintaining factors, so that we can discuss. Some things which are not, for example, in professionals, prolonged screen time. Yes, prolonged screen time is there with homeopaths also. But better aspect is not, whenever it is necessary to look toward the screen, it is you go look toward the screen. And whenever you are not watching the screen, go away from the screen. That is the simple solution. First important thing. Second important thing, that you should have a proper screen which will not cause you damage to your eyes. So there are many more new options are coming out regarding screens that they can develop. Third important thing, because of sitting in front of laptops or sitting in front of desktop for a long time, it is make a habit. Tell the patient that there is a need to mm, uh, just after 1 hour or 1.5 hour, just wake up, walk for certain few steps, and again sit on the chair. That makes the difference. And these are the things which are necessary in such types of cases. So it depends. You cannot stop the profession because of it. Profession should be continued, but one must adapt according to the situation. You tell them, and that for the same purpose, you must know all those things. My suggestion to all of you is that learn practically. When you learn practically, you can get many more solutions. If you learn theoretically, you never get the solution. So always be a practical more, so that you can get such types of answers to your question. So thank you being there, and we'll meet again tomorrow at the same time with the next aphorism. And next aphorism is very, very, very important. So thank you very much being there, and we'll meet tomorrow. Thanks a lot.
Thank you, sir.